Welcome back to Worldview. Now, continuing our series this week on women entrepreneurial business leaders, I'm pleased to welcome Lynn King Smith, owner of Ticket Force in Mesa, Arizona, which is near Phoenix. Now, Lynn says she tries to keep her life simple, but doesn't often hit it. And with 3 grown daughters and a thriving business, her mantra, live simply, love generously, care deeply, speak kindly. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Seems very apt in these busy times. Now, Lynn raised her family in a time when there were battle lines drawn between women staying home or working. And since this week celebrates women entrepreneurs as well as discusses the issues of life balance, I wanted to have her on to share her story. Lynn King Smith, welcome to Worldview.
Thank you, Dennis. Great to be here.
Oh, thank you for being here. Now, you describe your job as CEO of Ticket Force, an organically grown ticketing company that, quote, plays with the big boys every day, gives people a happy place to go to work, and this is a good reason to get up in the morning. That's a super attitude. How important is creating a good work environment to you?
It's pretty much the only thing. I mean, obviously, I think that pans out then to great customer service. I was just over the desk of one of my client service reps, and she was really doing some detailed work that I thought, you know, nobody else is really doing this kind of stuff for their clients. She was just assisting them with looking up something. And, you know, she can do that because she's comfortable, she's confident, and she's committed to the job. So it plays out and it gives me a 99% retention rate. But I don't, you know, it's not an ends justifies the means. I'm not trying to create a great place. I think there's companies that do that for the purpose of saying that they have a really cool work environment. But something is wrong at the core sometimes. This just sort of seeps out of, you know, who we are and what we're trying to do. And so it's really the only thing that matters.
Now, in some of the materials you sent to me, you said that you work with your husband, Brad, who you described as, quote, the perfect partner and good at everything that you're not. But I got to ask the question most would ask here. How do you two live and work together and not get on each other's nerves?
Well, we don't. We do get on each other's nerves, and probably everybody else's as well, for sure. So we like to tell the story. When we first started, we shared an office. It was a fairly long, probably 15, 20-foot long room, and our bookkeeper at the time sat in the middle of us, and it was just hilarious because we sort of had to talk over her. She got very good at tuning out. Now we have offices at opposite ends of the building. And we also have a schedule. This is kind of a trick that we do that works really well. We each take a day where we work at the home office, and it's a separate day, which means that out of the entire work week, there's only 3 days that we're both here. And right. I'm sorry, but after, you know, we do get along, but that just works better.
Now, you've managed to raise 3 adult daughters in the rough and tumble world of venues and tickets and ticketing. How would they describe life with mom, and have any entered the biz?
Life with mom, I think it took them a while to appreciate the kind of mom that I was, because I wasn't I wasn't always there with the cookies after school, although we did start in our garage, and so sometimes I was there too much for my junior hire. She'll say, you guys were never gone. You're always around. And so that, in some cases, it wasn't ever the right balance. But now they're kind of coming back and saying, kind of cool what you do. And, you know, I think some of those traits are good. Not yet on any of them joining the biz. One of my oldest daughter currently works for me in the administration area here. And so, but she has all kinds of creative plans that have nothing to do with a long-term future here. So I don't know. We'll see.
We follow each other on Twitter. And you talk a lot about how important social media is, and indeed it's a key part of your own online business for this ticketing industry. Tell us how the evolution occurred from, because I remember paperback tickets, but I can't remember the last time I used a paper ticket. I mean, I'm able to enter venues using my iPhone or using a computer printout that is then scanned. Talk a little bit about how the evolution of this business has occurred.
Slower than we would like in some cases, and honestly, England and all of Europe actually and Australia are a bit ahead of us on non-paper ticket delivery. There's still a lot of thermal tickets that run through Boca ticket printers here. So yeah, that's kind of, we're a little bit slower, but I always say we follow the airlines in technology. So think of the last time, there are people that don't even know that you had to get physical airline tickets, right? You and I know that.
Not only do I remember physical airline tickets, I remember the multi-coupon, and every coupon had to be collected and pulled.
Yeah. It was a whole big packet. It was crazy. And, you actually had to go to the travel agent to pick up your ticket and worry if you forgot it, when you left the house. So they are ahead of us because there's still a lot of thermal tickets coming in the door, at least here stateside and in Canada. We do have mobile ticket delivery now, but you've got to have infrastructure in place to have the scanners that are working. And all of that is complex. Technology is complex. So it's a little slower than we would like it to be. But it's all going to be at the phone level, and it's going to be where you purchase. And we already have that in place as well, just not widely used yet. People have difficulty with technology, frankly. And, even your printer doesn't work sometimes on your print at home, right? So you have a lot of people that show up and say, I didn't have any ink, and so then you got to run them back to the box office, and guess what? We print them, a thermal ticket to get in the door. So
we're talking with Lynn King Smith, and she is the CEO of Ticketforce in Phoenix, Arizona, here on Worldview with Dennis Campbell. Now, Lynn, I'm assuming the big boys are Ticketmaster and Ticketmaster. So how do you compete with them?
There's two of them. It's not hard to compete with them on an individual basis. So, and part of the reason is because we put a lot of revenue that Ticketmaster takes and retains. So you buy a ticket on Ticketmaster. It's a great model for what it was, but you're paying a pretty hefty fee to them to have the immense infrastructure that they do. And, they do what they do well. They don't screw up ticketing really all that often, right? And they don't really crash that much, and they're fairly dependable. So they take a high fee to pay for that. And what a venue doesn't realize, because here, at least stateside, here, venues are responsible for ticket contracts. So a venue may not always know how much revenue is Ticketmaster actually making on your buyers. You sell 100,000 tickets a year. If they're taking in $5 a ticket, $8 a ticket, you start doing the math on that. That's a pretty steep number. So the way we compete is to come in and go, do you know how much money you're leaving on the table? And if they say no, we ask them to find out. Often they don't. Once they see that, I'm going to come in and charge them maybe $1.50, $2 a ticket. And now they can say, I can lower the fee to the patron, but I'm also going to recapture a lot of that revenue. So we have venues that are 2,500 seat venues that are making $500,000 a year, some close to $1 million a year in ticketing revenue. You start talking those kind of zeros, you can take a client from Ticketmaster. It's not hard. So that's how we do it. It's one client at a time.
Brilliant, brilliant. Now you give a lot of talks to women's and business groups. So I've got to ask you, what type of advice would you give other women business owners on finding and maintaining balance whilst also running a successful business?
That's a tough one. In fact, right now it's a funny week to do this interview because I feel like I'm normally a pretty grounded and centered person. And if I'm not, everything around me sort of goes to hell. So I have, my daughters, even though they're adults, still, call me for advice and emotional support. I'm part of a marriage, and I have people who depend on me in my office. And so if I'm not grounded, it kind of feels like the one juggling all the balls needs to be the stable one, right? So right now I'm in a phase, and I don't know what it is. In the moon cycle, perhaps, I just feel a little off. And everybody around me is like, when are you going to get it together? Because we really need you to be on. But I mean, my tricks of the trade are a glass of wine and a yoga mat and, all those same things. I do take a slow morning. At least for me, I get up and I exercise right away, just a long walk or a jog. And then I come back in, make coffee, and I hit the email and I get that out of the way because I'm a morning person. So I wake up and I've got that energy and I get that email out of the way, but I'm doing that at home. I'm still in my workout wear. I'm very comfortable. I take my dogs out and all that. And I give myself a lot of time before I hit the office. So I don't get into the office till somewhere between 9 and 10. I've already cleaned out my inbox. Sometimes I've already written some things and done some postings. And I'm coming in, then I'm fresh and ready to go. So that's kind of another one of my tools is take some time in the morning, do what you need to do.
Well, Lynn, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us here.
Absolutely. It's been great.
Lynn King Smith is CEO of Ticketforce in Mesa, Arizona. You can follow her on Twitter at Lynn with an E, King Smith, and her wonderful blog, The Whole Business, is at lynnkingsmith.com. By the way, I especially love the story and homage to your mom there. It was really not what you expect to see in a blog, and it was really nice.
Thanks very much.
It's a place for casual but important conversations on life and business. Now, when we return, we'll visit with a woman who moved from mainland China to the USA just 11 short years ago and was told she would not amount to much in her home country. So she just defied all the odds and the naysayers to learn English in 3 months, obtain a master's degree, and now runs an online tea business in New Jersey. Hongyang Jane London joins us next when Worldview with Dennis Campbell continues. Stay right here.